Hey, Dan Beagleman here. In this video, I'll show you how to play Fast Car as recorded by Tracy Chapman. The song is pretty simple. It's just two parts. There's a finger picking motif and then there's a chord strumming section for the chorus. The song is in concert A, but it looks like you're playing in the key of G because of the capo on the second fret. Here's Fast Car. Fast Car was written by Tracy Chapman and recorded and released in 1988. And it features a very, very pretty guitar motif that just is a two-bar phrase. And it's a finger-picking pattern. It's relatively simple. It's built around a four-chord cycle. Because it's capo 2, the recording is in concert A. In other words, it sounds like you're in the key of A, but because of the capo on fret 2, it's going to appear like you're in the key of G. So for all intents and purposes, we'll just think we're in the key of G. As I said, this guitar motif, or this little figure here, is pretty much built on four chords: C, G, E minor, D. So in other words, if you just strum these four chords, it'll still sound like the song. It won't have the exact guitar figure, but if you play just those four chords. Right, and you could still hear the song in that chord voicing. But what we have here is a simple, like I said, a simple finger picking thing. So here's your C chord, G, E minor, and D voicing. So it looks like kind of like an open C, an open G, and then up here like an E minor here and a D. So you can see how this little motif comes out of these chord voicings. Okay, and again, if finger picking is new to you, it's pretty simple. Actually, it's a good tune to get started with if the finger picking is new for you, because it's relatively simple. In a little while, you'll see the sheet with the music in notation and tab that I transcribed for this song, so you'll see how this all works out. But primarily, your thumb, when you're finger picking something like this, your thumb is going to play the low two strings, the fifth or the sixth string, and then your index and your second finger, or index and middle finger, will kind of handle strings 3 and 2, and that's pretty much what you're dealing with here. And just you have this little hammer on it from the B to the C on the second string right at the beginning. So here's that two-bar motif. And that's the song, pretty much, the verse. And just at the beginning, she cycles that 4 times. Does that 4 times, and on the third time there's a little bit of a alteration on the melody there. Just on the third cycle of the intro. The chorus section for Fast Car is a 9-bar phrase with chord strumming as opposed to a finger picking pattern. It's 9 bars, as I said, and it's just, again, the same 4 chords, C, G, E minor, and D, that are used in this. So that's the whole tune. built on those 4 chords. And back to one other thing I'd like to address in this video is what's called or referred to as chords in a key. If we're in the key of G, and again I'm calling this the key of G even though it's actually A pitch-wise, but because of capo 2, again referring to G, relative to capo on the 2nd fret. So if I played what sounds like, it looks like a G scale, G major scale, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. If you build a chord from each interval of the scale, you have a pattern of types of chords. You have major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished, and then major to finalize it. So in other words, if I'm in the key of G, again, relative to the capo, I'd have G major, A minor, B minor, C, D, E minor, F sharp diminished, and G. Okay, those are called, that's what's referred to as chords in a key. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because if you look at the breakdown of the chords that the verse motif is built on, you have C, G, E minor, D, which is actually in the key, it's referred to as 4, 1, 6, 5. In other words, C is the 4 chord of G, G is the 1 chord, E minor is the 6 chord, D is the 5 chord. So 4, 1, 6, 5. And there's many pop tunes that just use those 4 chords, the 1, 4, 5, and 6 chords, and just mix them up in different orders. And there's probably hundreds of popular songs that are built on just those 4 chords, 1, 4, 5, and 6. And it could just be, of course, in any key. So again, the motif for, or the main phrase for fast car is 4, 1, 6, 5. And if you just strum those chords, you can hear. Right? So, something to pay attention to. Check out my video on chords and arpeggios part 1, and I do a pretty deep dive into understanding the relationship between chords, scales, arpeggios, and how all these things relate. And again, also, as I mentioned before, for transposing, to match a voice, you can move the capo up, or you can even take the capo off, and in this case, you'd be playing it in the key of G. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please leave any questions or comments in the comments section below. I'm Dan Beagleman, and that's Fast Car as recorded by Tracy Chapman. Have a nice day.